Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane have responded to Tom Aspinall's call out. Hey guys, hold on a second. Let me be fair here. So I'm over at MMA Fighting. Let me see who did this. I've just got to credit him. I'm over at MMA Fighting right now. And this is by Drake. Drake's the man. You guys follow Drake Riggs? Oh. Drake is the man. He's got an absolute passion. He wrote an article here where it appears that he interviewed Gaethje. There is a chance that he's just subscribing. That wasn't the right word. Subscribe? What's that word? What's the word when somebody quotes you? They write it down. Subscribe? Transcribe. There's a chance that he transcribed it, but either way, he wrote the article. Underneath that, there's a section that MMA Fighting has called Top Stories. So I think this is all done by Drake. I've got to credit because they didn't put a new author in, but hear me out on this because it might be the best thing that they've got. They got something here, it's called a debate, and then they lay the debate. Then they've got a matchmaking, and they lay it out. Then they got a throwback, and they lay it out. Then they got heavyweight, they throw it out. Then they got results, and they got update. And this is a really great section over at MMA Fighting. It truly is, and I'm stealing this from them. Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane respond to Tom Aspinall's call out at UFC London. Now, you got to understand, Ciryl Gane got put in a really good position because the main event winner, who just might be the real number one contender, he just might be the guy that everybody's looking at, just said that he is one of the guys everybody's looking at, right? Like, there's not a scenario that's realistic where the UFC returns Ciryl Gane against Jon Jones. You can't throw a fight and then get that fight. It cannot be done. It has never been done. It won't be done. But now you have Tom saying that it's down to himself, Spivak, and Ciryl. Tom has literally grabbed Ciryl Gane and pulled him back into the boat. Literally. And so you gotta have the response by Ciryl, and you gotta have a real appreciation. And Ciryl was smart enough to do this. He's usually not. He was smart enough to see what happened, know what time it was, and allow himself to be inserted. It was a very good move. As simple as it might sound, it's a very good move by Ciryl. Now you take a look at Jon Jones. Jon Jones said on Twitter simply, good idea. That's all that he said, but I just want you guys to know what you're seeing with Jon. I am not an advocate for Jon Jones, but there is one falsehood that is out there. I'll bury Jon Jones all I want, but I'll bury him within the facts. This is not a fact. This is a misconception that Jon is afraid and or unwilling to fight this next generation of athletes. And that misconception is here for very good reason, which Jon said, I'm going to retire after Stipe. There is no truth to it. I mean, just so you understand, Jon did that for marketing, and it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Because the laws of attraction are somewhat real, right? That for sure is the thing. And Jon is as prevalent in that world as anything. Jon has manifested a number of things. Jon has set his sights a number of times. Jon is known in his younger career, the visualization and doing these very things. When he comes out and he talks about Stipe's my last one, before you know it, you go do that for a couple weeks, you go do that for a month, all of a sudden he is your last one. And even if your great plan is to pull back and say, I'm going to continue, you're in a different spot. It's a mistake and he should stop. And moreover, he kind of just did. Now, I have told you guys, Jon's not going to be done after Stipe. That's a work. I've told you that. This isn't a maybe or Chael's opinion. He's a prize fighter, and he doesn't have enough money yet. I don't say that to tease him. He's a guy that went without work for 3 years. I'm sharing for you. You're not seeing the last of Jon. But if you want to take him at his word, go ahead. His word just changed. When Jon comes out a few weeks ago and says, I'm going to retire, thinking this is somehow going to help with ticket sales, it was wrong, it was a miss, and it needs to stop. Moreover, he just told Tom that's a good idea. Tom said, I'm coming after you. He said, it's down to one of us three. We're going to rise up to the top. We're going to get this little round robin, and then we're going to go fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones said, good idea. I'm not confident that Tom identified the right three people. I'm extremely confident in telling you the organization is never going to put Ciryl and Jones back in there together. I'm sure there's nothing that Jon would like more, right? Like more than the easiest fight he ever had to have it again. I'm sure of that. I'm sure that he's willing to help. They're not going to do that again. And I also believe that Pavlich is the guy that's earned that opportunity. And I do believe that Pavlich is the biggest threat to Jon Jones. And I can tell you behind the scenes, Jon has already accepted that fight. Now, that doesn't mean that Jon isn't going to be intelligent about his career. And though he's willing to fight Pavlich, and he is willing, that's the misconception I'm talking about. That is a Jon Jones will fight Pavlich. He's already agreed. I can't take that from him, guys. I'll bury the sun gun. Believe me, I will. But I got to do it with reality. It's not real that Jon's scared of this next generation, or that he's unwilling, or he's going to retire, or he's going to run from it. It's not real. But Jon also would acknowledge that Pavlich is a problem. Jon has been very open to tell us all, size matters. Within his own mind, size matters. And Sergey is one of the bigger guys in that whole division. Just for one little piece. So while Jon is willing to fight Sergey, and he's aware that he's probably going to have to fight Sergey, if Jon wanted to play a little different game over here, to fight that next generation, to end anything that anybody's saying about him, to protect his legacy, oh, and by the way, do it against a guy that isn't Sergey, that would be very intelligent of Jon. Now, I believe that that's a byproduct of what's happened here. I don't believe that was strategic, and I don't believe Jon is capable of being 2 and 3 steps ahead when he put out the simple message of telling Tom that he co-signs the statement, which, by the way, the statement happens to just leave out the actual biggest threat. I don't think that Jon was being strategic. I think it's just something that happened, but it happened nonetheless, and it was the right move.